Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Om, a student of class 11 science. And if you ask me what I do, well, the answer will depend entirely on what time of day it is. By day, I'm a student. Physics, chemistry, mathematics. The holy trinity that has traumatized generations before me. Well, someone who is still having nightmares about the all three subjects. But somewhere in between, there's a very fun thing that happens. Somehow, I keep landing up in places where science students are apparently not supposed to be, like the drama clubs, like editing for the school magazine, like speaking at many MUNs, and somehow hackathons. These events, they are not just versatile, they help me build experience. And in the modern day, where kids are being told that knowledge comes in boxes, and they have been categorized in boxes such as the science box, the arts box, the commerce box, the useless but fun hobbies box. But reality, the world doesn't come in boxes. There are over a billion fields in the world. All of them hold some value to everyone. Everyone is influenced by them. But the major fields only happen because someone thought of mixing two things together. Technology plus art gives us half the things on Instagram. Biology and technology gives us biorobots. Coding and storytelling gives us those scary stories about big robots. Here's where I understood that there's one term that will help me a lot. Interdisciplinary. Interdisciplinary thinking sounds very fancy, very high tech. But put simply, it's nothing more than combining some concepts of different fields together to create something better. It's basically a scientific version of mixing Maggie with cheese. Nobody asked for it, but still everybody does it. Nowadays, schools are teaching us that you need to be hyper specialized. I agree, at some points, yeah, you need to be specialized. But in my personal experience speaking at ATL Labs, that gave me the versatility I needed. You cannot just be a coder and imagine yourself to be the best in the world in speaking, but you need to build those skills. Today, there are many apps. Twitter, now called X, Instagram, Facebook, all these are public sharing websites, social media as we call them. These social media platforms wouldn't be possible if the creators didn't think, why not mix psychology, that is, normal human emotion of wanting to share things with each other, and combining their skills of coding together. In my personal belief, what developed me into being an interdisciplinary or multi-potentiality kind of a person, my experience at ATL Labs was people need to be hyper-specialized, agreed. But when you step into the broader forms, speaking at places like scholastic conferences, those are the places where you need to learn how you in fact need to stand up and speak without fainting. And that's the truth. I have fainted once. And it's a part of everyone's life. At VSSM and IISER Bhopal, I learned how real research looks. I stepped into that lab and saw many scientists working, and it looked very complex. I was very afraid, but still I dabbled in them. One moment I was doing physics, one moment I was doing coding, and one moment I was doing this, I was doing that. That's how a student life is supposed to be. Because these are the kind of people who are going to lead the future. In the today's world, you cannot just be hyper specialized and imagine yourself to be entirely successful. Because we are stepping in a time where your job may not even exist yet. People are literally becoming AI anthropologists, space lawyers. Yes, apparently we need lawyers, that too in space. People are becoming neural network architects, which is a really complex term, but it means nothing more than programming brain cells. That's what our education system isn't teaching us. It is asking us to choose either this or that, science or arts, engineer or doctor, a writer or a painter. Why can't you be both? Why can't you be an engineer as well as a poet at the same time? Imagine if Einstein didn't play the violin. Imagine if Steve Jobs didn't learn calligraphy. These people weren't extraordinary because of the multiple things they did. They were extraordinary because they tried and they connected. In the modern day, if we think about it, innovation happens only when you try to bring up two particular objects and merge them together deliberately. Yeah, sometimes ideas do seem like, oh, it's next to impossible, we shouldn't do this. But that's what is the start of a major breakthrough. Before Professor Nambi Narayan started his rocketry journey, he had one simple thought. The thought being, why can't I power this particular rocket with this particular fuel? Simple question. Why not just put it in and try it out? Try it out he did. And that was a major breakthrough for us, for our entire space program. Today at VSSM, there's a lot of skill sets that are required and they are told to kids to learn. And these skill sets are namely normal physics, normal coding, and normal chemistry. But beyond those, communication. The ability to tell your answers and tell your thoughts to everyone else. Propagate them. And that is what this generation is lacking. Since I'm a science student, right now I'm legally required to insert a scientific fact here. When you think about something new or learn something new, your brain creates new neural pathways. These pathways, they interconnect when you think about those particular things once again. So you are literally exercising your mind while you think. That's mental weightlifting without the gym trauma. And that is why students my age are basically the most important people right now. Because our minds are flexible enough to understand this. Our minds are flexible enough to unlearn, relearn, remix, and reinvent. Learning newer things once and all is how people develop. I personally experimented around and created a very short framework of 3 steps. Step 1 being, catch skills like Pokemons. Make sure your inventory is full of them. Coding, AI, physics, research, poetry, instruments, anything, whatever sparks your interest. Gather all those skills. Step 2, look for crossovers. Think about a particular topic. Think about 2 subjects and try to merge them together. Don't worry about what would be the result. Just try to merge them together because that's how new ideas are made. That's how the Ford Model T, the first car, was ever made. And step 3, don't ever listen to people who tell you, oh, it's not going to work. There have been instances where even a month ago, people have told me your coding project wouldn't work, your coding project wouldn't do this, wouldn't do that. But guess what? I got recognized by ISC. Because sometimes people do tell you right things, yeah, but sometimes they also tell you wrong things because, of course, they don't have the same perspective you do. In that case, you need to have enough courage to work ahead on it. And that courage is what is mostly required. Recently, CBSE released the NEP model. I'm sure everyone is aware of it. And in that model, it is pretty evident that CBSE wants us to study according to the curriculum of the older times. That means skill-based learning. And that is one step towards what a modern student should do. Now, it is up to us, our students, to choose our priorities. Let's be honest, today's schools, there's basically a fight between kids. Science kids think they're superior. Commerce kids, well, they're quietly calculating everyone's future salaries. Humanities kids think they're living life. And every art kid considers themselves Tagore or Picasso. That's not a bad thing. But merge all these arts together. For example, put a coder, an artist, and a physics student together in a hackathon team. The physics student will say, let's calculate the coefficient of friction. That's his perspective. The coder will say, let's automate it. The artist will try to make it beautiful. Although these things particularly taken, absurd, I know. Why would you try to get something physics related into a normal code? Absurd, you're right. But somehow these ideas and these particular perspectives come together to create one whole identity for the idea. They make it stronger. That is how literally the world works. So when someone tells you that you should not do this, tell them that you will. Because nobody can tell you to choose. You're not this or that. You are this and that and whatever else you want to be. So every listener here, go ahead, be curious, take the risks. Because the next major breakthrough might just come through you. Thank you, and I'm Nayak.